Hello, everybody. I'm Trio, and welcome to something a little special because it's kind of a two-in-one, more like a one-in-two, because it's special, but for two things, really. It's special for one, the second version of my face rig, and two, I just reached 100 subscribers on this channel, the Trio Tries to Animate channel, and that's pretty cool. I'd say I think that it came around the perfect time for the release of my new face rig, or not my new face rig, but my new version of my face rig. Anyways, let's get into this. I didn't script anything. I probably should have scripted at least something, but all I really have on the side of me is my changelog for the face rig, so I guess I'm gonna go off of that for now. So before I guess get into the actual changes, I'm just gonna give you the rundown on how to install it. You don't really have to do much. Once you download it from the mega link that is going to be in the description of this video, you just unzip that, go into the folder. It will be called Trio's Simple Face Rig 2.0. And once you go into that, just drag this .mi object into your scene or project. Alternatively, you can go into file and then import, and then that should also work, but that is for if you're using the pre-5 version of Minimator 2.0. If it's previous versions, then you should know the other ways to import stuff into Minimator. I'm pretty sure this works with other versions. I'm gonna have to test it. If it doesn't, then I may have to make a separate one that works with the other version. Like, take some time, so hopefully this works with the other versions and I don't have to do much to get it working there. Anyways, so what I have here is this is Steve. I know it may not look like it because there is no face or no hair, but that is for a good reason, which I'll showcase a little later. So, once you import the face rig, you'll see that it is a little bit different than before. First off, the textures are a bit different. What I'm using for the textures now, excuse me, I'm a little sick, are 16, before it was 16 by 16 textures, and those looked a little mixely. If you don't know what mixels are, it's inconsistent pixel textures. It's when one pixel is bigger than another pixel on the side of it, and it's now going to be 8 by 8 textures, which there's still some mixeling, but it's a lot less, and in my opinion better. But you can always switch to other ones, which I will show later. Maybe I'll just show this now. All you need to do is just go to the other textures, and then for any of the textures, all the old textures are still here, and they're the same as the new textures. Then you just go to item sheet, and then make the size, what is it, like 8 by 16, and then click OK. Then what you would do is go to the corresponding item that you want to change the texture of, and then change the texture from whatever small to whatever the texture is you want to use. It's that simple. So what's first on the agenda of showing you? Dang, I am really congested right now. I'm a little sick, if you couldn't tell. So yeah, there's a lot more textures, by the way, a lot more, but still there's still room for more, which is really cool. In case you wanna still add yours, in the first rig there was not many at all. And I think I have a project actually. As you can see, this is the old one, and if I were to select this, you can see there is not much at all compared to the new one. I'd say I did a decent job at adding a lot of new textures and also converting them, because I had to convert because I did have to convert all the 16 by 16 textures into 8 by 8 textures, but I think I made them work as well as I possibly could. Anyways, moving on. No, I'll go to the features first, then I'll go to the bug fixes last. Both male and female eyebrows. So there's now, in addition to just a whole bunch more eyebrows, there's now female eyebrows, in case you need those. What else? Eyebrow sprites now have the inverse. So as you can see, 4 of these rows, the ones that make sense being the other way around are switched to the other way around, because before, if you had an eyebrow like this and you wanted it the other way around, you would have to turn it the other way around. But now you can just go down here and then choose this one. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty cool. What else? But yeah, eyes for 2 pixel tall faces. I literally just added this today. I didn't have it before, but now there's support for 2 pixel tall eyes. If I were to make this visible, you can see that there's, well, this looks weird on Steve. There are now 2 pixel tall eyes, and you can change the color of the tops and bottoms. You can't really do that for the whites in the back, because I don't really feel like doing that, but I think this should be enough for now. I think that's it for the really differences in the main face rig. So accessory sprites. So there is now, if you go to the new folder, accessories folder, there are now two folders here. We'll get to these in a little bit, in a second. It's gonna be pretty cool. There are now accessories. There's the accessories.png and accessories small.png. This is 16 by 16 textures. This is 8 by 8 textures. To add them, it's the same process as any other item sheet. You go in, import it as an item sheet. Is item sheet yes? Then change the item rows to 8 and 16, and then you have that. These accessories aren't really mostly face accessories. Some of them are. If you go over here, you can see I've got monocle things, bow ties, and nose, and other like facial stuff like this blush here and this angry expression, this question mark. Yeah. It's pretty neat. It's just a sheet of textures. Anyways, now let's get to the fun part of the face rig, I'd say. So there is a new well, first of all, there's accessories in this update, which was gonna be in 1.5, but 1.5 never arrived because I just wanted everything to be into 2.0 instead, because I think it would fit more with the new textures and stuff. But anyways, in the accessories folder specifically, you'll get two folders. The first one is the 3D mask, and the second one is the hats folder. The hats folder is for fully 3D modeled hats. So if we're gonna go into any of these, let's choose this one, and then if I just drag and drop this one, for some of them you have to position them yourselves. Only three things you might have to do for a few of them. For almost all of them, you have to reposition them. Well, I will never know the exact position that you might want it to be. Another thing you might have to do is, not for this one specifically, but in appearance, you may have to toggle on show back faces for some of them. You may have to show back faces since the insides of the textures won't show in Minimator unless you turn on show back faces. A third thing is some of them will have Z fighting with the player head, the character head. What you'll have to do is just scale it by 1.01 should be enough whenever you have the Z fighting issue, and that's about it for the fixes. Anyways, moving on. So you have all of these. This is like 19 hats, dang. The first one is the 3D mask. This is I guess, sort of special way of doing hats. So what this is really, I'll import it first so that you can see, so that you can maybe get what's going on. So as you can see, once I import it in, it's really just textures that wrap around the player head. Why do I keep saying player? What am I, a gamer or something? Oh wait. So all it is just textures that wrap around the model's head, and you can texture it in a similar way to this template texture, or any of these textures, and that should work. So if I were to go to, let's go to glasses first, because I have two sets of glasses here. One is high res, one is low res, and for the low res, I specifically have some of whatchamacallit, the non shades, you know, the glass of the glasses and the non-glass of the glasses separate. For some of them will be labeled that, so that you can know which is which. This is obviously for when you're importing them into Minimator, and you need to have the glass be slightly transparent. Moving on, you have the masks, which has a lot of them. There's a lot of textures in the 3D mask section, because it's easy to make textures for it. You have all of these, then you have emoticons. You also have Dream here. Don't know what he's doing there. Anyways, I have also added some mob faces. Also, there's wigs. There's not that many, but it's pretty easy to add. So if you want to add your own, you can definitely add your own. So I can give Steve his hair back. And to add it, you just import it as a skin. You can also use this to make like a 3D hair models. Another cool feature about this is that you can scale these to be a bit less thick. So if I want to make the sides a bit less thick, I can go in there and change the corresponding scales, which is neat. What else? Is there anything else with this? I think that's really it. It's just a texture that wraps around the model's head. I almost said player head again. Jeez, I'm such a gamer. I'm such an epic gamer. Alright, I think that about wraps it up for Turio Symbol Face Rig 2.0. If I seemed like, I guess, not as energetic as usual, it's because I'm a little bit sick. Sorry about that. That's just how winters go for me. And also spring, which are also winter and spring are ironically my two favorite seasons. Okay, that's about it for this video. Go download the rig in the description, and if you want a full changelog, go to the Minimator forum post. That's where this will all be, all the information, all the extra information on this will be. There will also be example images like this one that I just popped up on screen, and this one that I popped up on screen. So yeah, I hope this was a pretty decent Christmas present for everyone. But yeah, I'm Turio, and I'll see you later. Bye. Oops, I just forgot something. The fixes. I forgot to talk about the fixes that I did to this. So, first of all, the pivot points for for everything has been changed, mainly for scaling purposes. So if I were to if I select the eyebrows, for instance, this is now here, as opposed to being like down there. Also same for mouth. Not really needed for the eyes really, or anything. It's really just these, especially, so that now you can change the depth a bit better for those of you who, because in certain instances when you need a bit more shadow, as much as you would like it to, so just increasing the depth a little bit might help it out. Don't do it too much, because then oh, eye sizes are now pixel consistent. So if I were to go to the eyes, and then I were to go to before these were not 1 pixel. They just weren't. They were slightly smaller than a pixel, and that really aggravated me. So I changed it to be exactly 1 pixel after like 5 minutes of putting it side by side to a cube. And yeah, I'd say it looks pretty close to the pixel. I were to deselect it, you can see it is as close to a pixel as I think I'll ever get. And that size is 0.06275. That is the exact size that I used. Also, speaking of eyes, I also made it so that, I'm not sure why I did this in the first version. I used to have it so that you needed to change the mix color to change the color, which is weird for obvious reasons. That's no longer a thing. Lastly, things are now visibility independent, which means that if I were to change these off and then change these off, now normally when you turn it back on, then also all of these two that are non-visible would turn visible. But that's not the case because they don't follow the visibility of it. This is just something I came across quite a few times when I was editing it, so that's great that it doesn't do that now. But yeah, that's it for the fixes. Okay, see ya.